You know something? I like you. You know that? Why do we do this? You gotta do something.
We're gonna go back to the 1950s for this one, and there was a man by the name of Nicholas Ray, who undoubtedly probably did one of the most defining films of that generation, Rebel Without a Cause, starring James Dean. You think of the troubled teenager, and you immediately think of James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause as Jim Stark. He's just such a fascinating character to watch as he, like, parades through life, wondering what he's gonna do next, and not even knowing what he's gonna draw from. Jim Stark is a character who's constantly moving around with his parents because he's unable to make friends. Why? Because he just wants to be himself. And society in that time, with the Cold War and the threat of nuclear war, has constricted these teenagers to conform to some sort of rebellion. And he doesn't want to rebel. He's just sort of forced into all these positions that he's in the whole movie. Now it pays Judy, who sort of parades around with the big gang of guys, trying to feel like a hotshot with the guys. It's like that woman that they all look to for, like, attention, like, and she wants to be this idol, but even though she knows she secretly can't be.
How about you? Huh? Are you always at ringside? No, I mean, what are you hanging around such frank company for?
And another character is Plato, played by Sal Mineo. He's an orphan who, like, lives with his maid, and he's really looking for somebody to lean on, and he runs into Jim Stark, and they strike up this very interesting relationship. And another character is Plato, played by Sal Mineo. He's an orphan who, like, lives with his maid, and he's really looking for somebody to lean on, and he runs into Jim Stark, and they strike up this very interesting relationship. Judy, Jim, and Plato end up being this sort of very strange family amongst themselves because they don't understand anything, they don't know where they're going, they don't know what they're going to do, they don't know where they've been, but they're happy with each other. Rebel Without a Cause is not perfect. It falls apart in its final act because it's trying to hammer home this message of solemnness and, just an ode to the era, and it doesn't work for me because I felt it was really over-dramatized and staged not really well, but it's still a very, very good movie, mainly because James Dean's performance, I'm going to say, is unforgettable. I still give this a see it.
The late James Dean.
The late James Dean, yes.
And he died right before it was about to release, so Natalie Wood, she died too. Like, it's
Sal Mineo, he was in an accident too. Just they all died so young.
The whole thing's a tragedy, but Nicholas Ray's direction is just unbelievable.
Yes.
And his use of the color red, like Scorsese kind of used it for the opposite in Mean Streets, like it showed guilt and sin, because he was a very religious director.
Yes.
This is about a secular society, and they're not really sure where they are, like what's happening,
exactly.
And that red really shows this kind of like aimless rebellion, which is really cool. And then you mentioned something about the ending. I kind of agree, it kind of goes off the deep end, but I don't agree with what you're saying about the ending, how it's just kind of an ode. I thought it was really cool because how he kind of gets put on the brown jacket and he loses that red jacket, and it doesn't hammer it home, it's all implicit. And it says, okay, well, he's going to go back to the society, but you don't see what happens. They just kind of walk off, and it's like almost like walking off in the sunset, but not. You're walking off in the darkness. I like that.
I thought it was a good line at the end, but I felt like it was such a typical ending. I really wanted to do something different. Like maybe not necessarily not have an ending, but have like a non-ending, you know what I mean? Like,
I think it was a non-ending.
I know, but like there was the whole climax of the planetarium, and then like the big thing happens at the end, which I don't want to give away. But it's just I felt like it could have done so much more with that ending. You know what I mean? Like because it had a great vibe the whole movie, and then in the final third of the movie, there's something that I needed there. It didn't have it.
There are a few problems otherwise, but I think the film it's so fascinating on levels of it, and it's just so important with its time and all that things. And I get that, like the opening scene when he's drunk and he's in the police station, that was like great. And all the characters are slopping over.
Yeah.
And you really get the idea of like there's so many people in there, but everyone feels alone.
Well, you know what kind of drunken brawls those kind of parties turn into. It's not a place for kids.
A minute ago, you said you didn't care if he drinks.
He said a little drink.
You're tearing me apart!
What?
You say one thing, he says another, and everybody changes back again!
James Dean he conquers that role.
Oh my goodness, like, you really wanted to see him go after this movie, and he did Giant, and then, tragedy happens.
But what was funny is James Dean, when he was filming it, he didn't think he was that good. He's like, I'm not sure about this, and then they edited it all together, and they watched it after, and he's like, holy crap, I'm actually so good.
And then lo and behold, Dennis Hopper, mimics him. Is said to have mimicked him after that movie, because he was a supporting role in this movie as well, and just, like, he sort of channels James Dean every time he's in another movie. That's the power of this film.
Another movie we really don't need to see this weekend, and that's Life as We Know It, or I might as well call it Death as We Know It. So it's Katherine Heigl. I mean, like, she's making just great acting choices lately. She's been in Killers, she's been in The Ugly Truth, and now Three's the charm of this movie, right? This movie is like Apocalypse Now, but just an apocalypse, you know? We've all seen Apocalypse Now, the carnage on that screen. This is just a carnage of the comedy. This is apparently supposed to be a comedy, but a comedy without laughs. So if that interests you, then have fun with that.
Of course, Skip. Like seriously, this formula has been beaten like a dead horse all year. Just this magical, you know, family comedies that just don't work. It looks like Cheaper by the Dozen with but 10 less people. It's just. Come on,
20 extra minutes. It's almost 2 hours. Why?
Like, what? Do you think this is funny for mothers who are struggling with their children every day?
Oh.
No, it's not funny. Like, this is... Katherine Heigl, I really don't enjoy. The Ugly Truth is the ugly truth.
Knocked Up was the only thing, but that was she's dealing with Judd Apatow. Great material.
She's continuing her post Knocked Up.
Yeah.
She's been knocked in the head, apparently. The Ugly Truth is the ugly truth that her career is coming to an end. It's just 27 dresses, none of them look good. It's just... Who cares?
Alright guys, so that's it for this week's show, but stick around for next week. We got a bunch of movies to talk about, like Clint Eastwood's new movie Hereafter, Paranormal Activity 2, an interesting documentary called Catfish, and Woody Allen's new movie You Will Meet a Tall Dark Stranger.
Yes, and also we have our quintessential classic review of the week, and another movie you really don't need to see. Yes, they keep on coming, and we have to tell you about them. But for now,
you watch movies.
We give you the final take. See you later.
Alright guys, so that's it for this week's show. Okay, hold on.
And not even knowing what he's going to draw from. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just going to do it.
What else can I talk about?
Paul McCartney.
Okay, I'll ask. Another 3 movie. Those shades do not suit you.
Yeah.
You know we're recording, so
Mike, those shades don't suit you, and now that it's that. Oh, you're not wearing the...
I know, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.